everybody, welcome to another edition of Shit Your Pants Wednesday, right here on the DJB Productions Network. I'm your host, Matt Sunner, and I am joined today by my good friend and the creator of the network, Mr. Danny J. Danny, how you doing?
Matt, come back and shit my pants with you during the week. I love doing that. It's a hobby of mine. Yes.
And look at that hot chick you got coming out of the TV.
Yeah, baby.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
I always got the chicks in my house.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, and we also have our good friend, Jason Leach.
Hey, buddy.
Jason, how's it going?
Doing great. And I have my diaper on, so I'm
good.
shitting
So we're
away
all set.
already.
We're all set. We depend on you to come prepared.
No doubt.
Oh my God.
Oh man. All right. So
sweet loving Jesus.
If we're hoping if you're watching, you were able to check out our live stream.
Yeah, we had
that we did. We
did
recently. We watched The Brain That Wouldn't Die in its entirety. Had some commentary on it. So if you haven't watched that, go here on the channel, look that up, watch it. We had a really great time, despite the fact that I was lagging like a son of a bitch. Danny J and Jason were hysterical with their commentary. I thought I had some good ones, but you probably won't hear them.
Hear it.
Won't hear them at all. I watched it back. Can't hear a fucking thing Matt said. It's all good.
Fucking thing. Damn testicle difficulties. Anyway, but hey, let's get into today's episode. We are going to be talking about the movie Smile.
Yeah. Big hit. Big hit movie that came out just last year.
Yeah. I mean, we typically don't do movies this new and really even had this much of a pop following, but this was one of those ones that we figured we had to talk about it. It was a good surprise hit, and the main thing I liked about it was too, I mean, talk about a great viral marketing campaign.
Yes,
for this movie, having people go out to like sporting events and getting like on like the jumbotron and shit with that creepy ass freaking smile on TV, and it's like, it's so you know, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very unique movie. You know, we've seen so many movies over the years with you know, dealing with basically, you know, possession or being followed by an entity of some sort. And I thought this one was really cool how they did it. Danny, what'd you think of it?
I mean, I watched it. I was looking forward to it because I said it's kind of creepy and stuff like that. My daughters were like, I don't want to watch that movie. Like, not because they thought it was going to stink. They just were like, this is very creepy. Like you said, the campaigns that they showed were phenomenal. It was a great campaign to promote the movie. And the trailers just gave you a lot to go with. You're like, wow, this seems like very interesting. We watched it. Wife and I loved it. Thought it, and it, by far, and let me express this, not the best movie out there, and which is why it's on this show. But I mean, by far a very entertaining. I would refer to it as, use the term, a popcorn movie. It was a lot of fun to watch. It was a lot of fun to watch. A little predictable, okay. In my eyes, it was a little predictable. I thought that there was a lot for me to comment on. So I was yelling at the TV a lot in a sense, but not in a bad way per se, but like, I was definitely interacting with my television.
Yes.
At that point. And, but I thought it was great. It stars, the lovely daughter of Kevin Bacon.
Sosie Bacon.
Sosie Bacon.
Interesting name, but
So Bacon.
Whatever. Not quite crispy, not quite
crispy bacon. That's what I would have named that kid. Not quite crispy bacon.
And so, Jason, what were your thoughts?
Okay, I had zero expectations when going into it. I actually only watched it because I knew that we were going to be talking about it tonight. When the trailers came out and all that stuff, I thought it looked like just like dumb.
Well, cheesy.
And I was like, this is going to be horrible. I got no interest in seeing it, so I didn't see it when it was in the theaters. Even when my daughter told me, "Hey, it's a good movie," but I knew I had a homework assignment to do for tonight.
Jason understood the assignment.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, I loved it. It
Yeah.
was it was far exceeded my expectations, which I really didn't have any. So that was easy enough. But
Makes it easy, doesn't it? I know.
Yeah,
yeah,
it does.
but yeah, it was an awesome ride. Had a heavy on the gore at times, which I'm a
Mhm.
big fan of. I love what they can do with special effects. Um, like Danny said, the story was not
Mhm.
so unpredictable, but it was still good. It was done
Yeah.
very, very well.
The one thing again, it was fairly predictable,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I loved it. And the fairly
Mhm.
Right, right.
is the stress on fairly, because it did lead you to certain areas where you think you knew what was going to happen,
And then boom,
And you
and
they
didn't.
then
just
boom, it
turned it
changed
around.
it. And
Yeah,
then when you'd
yeah,
think you figured it out again, it changes up again. So it kept you where,
They were M. Night Shyamalan the fuck out of you in this movie. They
yeah,
really were,
but,
because it was a twist, a
but
twist, a twist.
without the ending being a total M Night
Right,
Shyamalan ending.
right. And by
Uh,
wait, guys, this is not an M. Night Shyamalan movie. We're just
no,
using
it is
the term
not. It is not an M
as a
Night
joke.
Shyamalan movie.
Yeah,
Yes, but I love the fact that there were a few times where you thought, okay, this is the end of the movie,
yeah,
yeah,
and all of a sudden it's like, no, there's still more.
yeah. And
yeah.
sometimes that could be
And
bad because you're like, this should have been the end
yeah,
of the movie.
yeah,
Um,
and they worked. They managed to work, and they made it work.
yeah, they
They
did.
made it work. I know we try not to do too much of a spoiler, in these shows, because we want you to go and watch it. We want you to enjoy it.
Yeah.
We don't want to ruin it. But I'll definitely tell you that I love that ending. And I know, Jason,
Mhm.
you said you loved it
Absolutely,
too.
Yeah.
Uh,
absolutely.
the ending was top notch.
Yeah,
I think the ending in itself was probably better than the movie as a whole.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I also
It,
yelled at the end of the movie because I was like, just knowing when you watch the movie, right, and you know what's going on in the movie, and then you see the ending of the movie, you're like, motherfucker, you know what's happening in this movie. It's like you start yelling at the TV because you're like,
yeah,
what the hell's
And
wrong with you? You know,
yeah.
it
But
just
just like Matt said, it was like if like throughout the movie, you think you got it all figured out, and at the end they just give you the biggest flim flam, you know
it's
twist ever.
it's kind of
Well,
like
not
that
a
commercial.
twist, but unexpected
It's
ending.
kind of like that commercial where they're like, why don't we run over here? Why don't we run over? Like, why don't we get in the running car?
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
It's like it's a lot like that where you're like,
No,
yeah,
let's hide
like
where all the
there
chainsaws
are some
are.
obvious decisions to make here, people, and you're not
yes,
making them.
Yeah.
Okay, which
yeah,
made it a shit your pants Wednesday movie.
Yeah.
And
It's
yeah,
the funny thing is I did like, and again, I don't want to give too much away,
yeah,
but I liked how one of the premises
yeah,
within the movie was similar to Little Miss Samara behind you there, Danny J,
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
the ring.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I could see that.
There is a plot point in there that's very similar to a very important plot point
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the ring,
There is.
which I thought was cool, because even, and again, without giving too much away, it's kind of like you can avoid a certain ending, but you might have that same ending anyway, depending upon how
Yeah,
things play out, just not in the way you thought.
And
Um,
I think what you're saying, to capitalize on what you're saying too, I think in Smile they made it more simplistic,
mhm. Yeah,
which
yeah.
made it easier to come about.
Hmm.
Whereas you could sit there and explain away why this would not happen
Hmm.
and why she would get a football goal kick right in the face coming out of my
Hmm.
TV like that.
yeah,
That oh, okay,
Hmm.
you kidding me?
That's
I mean, I would
it's like
die, but I would die fighting.
yeah, it's like, hey, she might be coming out of my TV, but the TV's going to be flying out the window as she does. Let's
yeah,
see if you can climb the wall too, bitch.
yeah. You know
Right
what
in
I
center,
also
bitch.
you know what I also compared it to is do you guys remember the Denzel Washington movie Fallen?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Yeah,
I was thinking
it
that
had a
yeah,
too.
lot of that going on in there.
Hmm.
that's
Yeah,
Yeah,
very true. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
Now,
that was a
and
pretty good
just for the
movie.
sake and just for the sake of
yeah. I loved
spoilers
Fallen.
for the sake of spoilers and stuff like that, it's not like that movie in the same sense that it is like that movie.
Right,
So
right.
Yeah.
it will remind you
Yeah,
Hmm.
of that
there's
movie,
definitely
and when you do
parallels.
watch it, you'll see.
Yes.
Oh, I see where they got that from.
Right.
But just to give you an idea, like anything we are saying, I just want to really emphasize out there, we are not giving away the movie at all, even though
No.
it is kind of a
Right.
predictable movie. But once you watch it, you'll be in it.
And
Um,
I'll
yeah,
sit there and I'll tell you right now the thing that, and again I said that almost the ending's almost better in itself is better almost than the whole movie
yeah,
as a
yeah,
package. Was I just loved when you finally saw what is causing this, when you actually see
right.
that creature, that entity, that was done so well.
It was.
That's probably the first time I've seen any kind of real effect in a movie that has like blown my mind in a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
The way that plays out on
It was
screen
great cinematography. It
was
really
just
was.
like holy shit.
Yeah.
And a good way to describe this movie, I
Holy
would
shit your
say,
pants.
it would be to shit your pants. No, would be like if Twilight Zone and Alfred Hitchcock got drunk one night and had sex, right? They would potentially have this baby
Hmm.
and send it to a home to go live somewhere. It's what they would do. It's what they would do. It was very cool.
Mhm.
It wasn't super unique because, like you said, there were a lot of parallels to other stories that are out
Yeah.
there. It was a unique way to portray this story, I would say. Um, and it's one of those things. And I will say, even though it's not super scary stuff like that, it's a little graphic.
Mhm.
So I will warn you about the for viewer discretion, of course, if you're not into that per se. Um, and not only just in the visual, but the subject matter,
Mhm.
honestly, is a very touchy subject. I don't want to get
Yeah.
into it further to give it away.
Well, just because again, and this
Yeah.
is nothing that you wouldn't see in the synopsis on IMDb. Our main character, she is a mental health professional.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
anytime you're dealing with anything, that delves into mental health issues,
Yes.
yeah, you're always treading a fine line
Yes.
between trying to portray it in its what it can be, its extremes,
Yes.
without making light
Mm-hmm.
of people who are
And
truly dealing with this. And I think that movie
yeah,
did a pretty good
decent.
job with it.
Did a decent job. I mean,
Yeah.
it does a lot of parallels in it because it shows you ignorance. It
Hmm.
shows you compassion. It shows you the science fiction aspect of what we were watching story wise. So
Mhm.
there's your entertainment as well. And it also, I think, like in overall, it kind of grounded the movie somewhat. I will say, just for anybody, and because it is a movie that kind of deals with mental health, if you do have experiences with mental health, or if you feel the need of talking to somebody, we do tell you to reach out. There's plenty of um, different services out there for you to reach out to, and we do urge you that you call what you will, therapy, speaking to someone, whatever the case is, even if it's not someone professional, if it's a friend or a loved one, we always tell you reach out. There's always someone out there that will listen. There's always someone out there that can help you out, talk you down, whatever the term is you want to use. And mental health starts with trusting, and it starts with reaching out. So obviously, we
Absolutely.
we 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 here at the DJB Productions Network will always say, hey, we make a lot of jokes on this channel. We really, really do. But I want to really express that our seriousness about mental health and how you can be better, and
Mhm.
how sometimes you don't have to be 100% better. That's the way
Mhm.
life is.
You just have to be better than yesterday.
Is be better than yesterday. That's right. So we do urge you with that, so and so forth. So keep that in mind as well, because it is a viewer discretion advised for a number of different reasons.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But so I think we're all in agreement that this is I wouldn't call it a full diamond in the rough, but it is not a full on mystery science theater. kind of movie.
Yeah.
No.
It's a great entertainment value.
Mhm.
I'd say I think it's got a lot of rewatchability factor as well.
100%.
Maybe not a whole ton of times, but I think it's I would see me. I don't know necessarily purchasing it,
Right. I wouldn't.
but
Yeah.
I could definitely see myself later on down the line saying, you know what, I can't think of anything else. You know what? Yeah, it's streaming. You know,
Yeah.
even if it costs me a couple bucks, to rent it. Yeah, I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
might purchase it though. I was
yeah,
really happy with
So
it.
there you
think
go. So I mean,
Yeah.
you got. So I mean, I would watch it for free because I'm like, fuck that. I don't want to watch it.
But
You know?
something that we didn't
Matt
touch
would
on.
rent it and Jason would buy it. I mean, so there
Yeah,
you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
There you go, folks.
Something that we didn't touch upon
Yeah.
is there was an emotional piece to it too,
Yes.
and it was basically what you thought was the climax, where
Yeah.
the woman was coming to terms with the
Whatever it
bigger
is.
picture thing,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I actually like was feeling it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to give too much away, but there was that definitely a bit of hard emotions in there at one point in the movie.
This is one of those fighting
Mhm.
demons in all sense of the word.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Good.
Hmm.
Look at
Mhm.
you, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not just another handsome face here.
Yeah. I like that
But
a lot because it
Yeah,
did actually, like I said, it does bring to light realistic situations and
yeah,
they use it in that sci-fi format to kind of get the story going along further. But it really does go down that road and sit there and say, you know what, not for nothing. You cut out this, you cut out that. This is a pretty good
yeah.
message, here, and it's a
Yes,
pretty
it is.
decent message there. So I mean, it does hit you on a number of different levels.
Yeah.
I did like it a lot. I really did.
And one more thing I want to bring up too, like I'm not a huge fan of like jump scares and stuff like that. I'm like it's a cheap way to get you like
Mhm.
Mhm.
but
I love that shit.
what they did in this movie, like as opposed to jump scares, it was like
Hmm.
um y- gosh, how can I say it without giving stuff away? But okay, how about when the sister comes charging to the car
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she's in
Wasn't
there and
expecting that.
yes,
Yeah.
and
Was
you're
not
like, what
expecting
the
that.
Yeah.
fuck?
It was, I will say this. I will say this. The effect was bad.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
I I was like, that is really 1987 right there.
yeah. Right,
But
right,
but
right.
but it was fun.
Yeah,
It
It was
it was it was kind of a jump scare, but
yeah.
there was still that scare
you
element
know
in
what
it.
it
Yes,
was? It
yes.
was the what do they call that when you do this? The dab.
The
The
dab,
dab.
yeah.
It was a WTF dab, is what it was. And
Yeah,
and in a
yeah.
couple different scenes, it was a WTF's dab,
Yes,
and
there
and
were a
it,
few of those throughout the
yeah.
movie.
So it wasn't jump scares; you were dabbing. So if anything, you were being hip.
Yeah, there you
How
go.
about that?
Hmm.
All right. Well, then I
Yes,
think that's going to wrap up this
yes,
episode of Shit Your Pants Wednesday. Again, we're talking about the movie Smile uh, all the way around. We say go check it out.
yes,
Get your
Absolutely.
friends together, sit down, watch this movie. You're
yes.
really going to enjoy it. There are going to be certain areas, as Danny J said, that you're going to be talking to the TV like, what the fuck are you doing? Why aren't you doing this? And there's other parts that you're just real. It's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you right in the
Yeah,
feel. It's gonna get you. So I mean, it's a perfect movie to watch in a group.
yeah. With
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
cheesesteaks.
Absolutely.
With cheesesteaks.
And with
Yeah, make
cheesesteaks,
sure
wings,
make sure
sweet
you're
strips.
eating. Make sure you're
Yes.
eating while you're watching this entire movie,
Yes.
and then you're gonna come back and comment on this video and say, "Dan, you son of a bitch."
Bitch. Certain things I won't eat again, and why?
Guys, hit that
So,
notification bell
yes.
down below. Hit the subscribe button. As you can see right below Matt, it's www.djbproductionsnetwork.com. That's for all your lovely entertainment needs right here on the network. So we do invite you to do that. Matt, take us out of here, dude.
Well, for myself, Danny J, Jason Leach, get together with your buddies, have your own Shit Your Pants Wednesday feature. Watch a movie we suggest movies to us. We're always looking for stuff.
Yeah,
So we can
honestly.
talk about it. We're always looking for fresh blood, as it were. And remember, this is all about having fun with the
It is.
people you care about. So get together. There was such a long time where we couldn't get together.
Mhm.
Use the opportunity. Do it now. Watch a scary movie. Watch a funny movie. We don't care. Start your own shit your pants Wednesday night or something to that effect. So until next time, gentlemen, you smell that?
Yeah, sorry, man.
Sorry.
Lost control there.
Sorry.
But anyway, till next time, we're
See you
out.
guys soon.